Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, principal of Simply Improve Health, and I help people to train better and longer and recover more quickly, have improved sleep, and enjoy better quality of life and health in general using plant-based products and simple techniques. Today, I'm going to be introducing my 18 that keeps the mental malware, as I like to call it, away. And what that is the first 8 essences that I actually created. And if all goes well, I'm going to try and share my screen. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but in any case, I will tell you about my 8, the first 8 essences I ever created, and how I use them to keep the mental malware at bay, both for myself and for my clients. Now, the first essence that I'd like to share with you, and you can find all this information on my website, and I'll give you those details later. But the first essence I'd like to share with you is Angel's Trumpet. And Angel's Trumpet, I don't think I'm going to be successful at, unfortunately, at sharing my screen. I tried to do it and ended up having to restart my live. But Angel's Trumpet is a beautiful white flower with a beautiful perfume. And it's for people in healing professions like me, people who work with clients and do healing work. But what I like to use it for is when I have a decision to make, I'm at a crossroads and need to make a decision of some kind. And also, if I'm so busy thinking about things that I start to go off mentally into the ozone, it helps to ground you. And when you're absent-minded or too much of a daydreamer, it helps you to keep your feet on the ground. So Angel's Trumpet, as I say, it's a beautiful, beautiful flower. It hangs upside down towards the earth, but it's a great night pollinator, bats and things like that like it because it flowers and opens at night. Now, my next member of my 18 that helps me to stay in line is called Coyote Mint. Beautiful purple, little purple flowers. The flowers are really tiny, but it has a very, very strong smell of mint. And every time I would smell it, it would make my stomach rumble. But mentally, what it does is to stimulate the hunger of the mind. So I use that when I've been studying, like when I was doing my courses and studying. Use it for being on a live like this. It's about being able to concentrate and also to be able to focus on intellectual pursuits. So anything where you have to use your mind and need to concentrate, it's very good. It's also good for doing research, I find, because it expands the mind and the directions in which you look at things. It can help you to do a lot more of lateral thinking. So if you have a job where you have to do a lot of calculating and thinking, this is a good essence for you to be able to use to help you to focus in and hone in on whatever it is you're doing. Now, the next essence of my 18 that I would like to introduce is called Hawaiian Bell. Now, this was an interesting flower, actually. I was looking for, when I was making the essence, I was looking for morning glories, ipomea, if you're into Latin terminology. But when I went back to the following year to actually make an essence with the morning glories, they had all been dug up. So Angel's Trumpet, which looks like a sort of like a giant morning glory, and Hawaiian Bell were what resulted from that frustrated search. And Hawaiian Bell is about communication. Perhaps you have trouble with communicating with people, or people find your communication maybe a bit um, abrupt or difficult. Or maybe you find it difficult to speak in public. This is the essence that's perfect for that. It helps us to not only to soften our communication style and to unblock difficult communication that you may be having with someone, but it helps you to be able to think more fluidly and speak more fluidly, so translating thoughts into words more easily. So that's for my communications level issues. That's what I use, Hawaiian Bell. Next, moving down the body and along the chakra, the energy centers from the crown down to the base, we get to the heart. And while there are literally thousands of essences in the world that work on this particular area, as part of my 18, the flower that has come to represent the heart chakra the most for me was the very first essence I ever made, which was pink oleander. And I'm always frustrated walking around here in the summertime and seeing oleander bushes because they very rarely have scent. It just doesn't get hot enough, I suppose, except at the moment. We're having a heat wave. But generally, they have a lovely, soft, almost powdery perfume that, unfortunately, I just can't smell very often here. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. But this was, as I say, this was the first essence I ever made, and it's imparts peace. If you're walking around kind of anxious and frazzled, it helps just ratchet things down a bit. When we have those anxious moments where we want to try to control everything and we control absolutely nothing, this helps you to let go. I call it the let go and let God essence because it just helps you to just stop stressing and let things happen as they're meant to. So that is the heart, literally the heart of my 8 essences, pink oleander. And just to remember the scent of those flowers, just the memory just helps me to just bring it right down. And in fact, one of my adopted sons had a cologne on today that smelled like it had oleander in it. So I have to get me some of that. Now, moving on, the next essence in my 18 has to do with not imposing our will, but being firm in our will. And that's the prickly pear essence. And despite the name, prickly pear does not make people more prickly. It makes people who tend to be prickly, like me. This was the second essence I made. The first was for peace. The other was for drop the thorns. And that's what this essence helps you to do. It helps you to drop those thorns, the thorns that make you a bit spiky when you get into certain situations with people. So it's about improving your communication style so it's not so abrupt or kind of hard when you express yourself with people. But it can also help you to learn to defend your space, but defend it without the prickles, without the thorns. So you maintain your space, you maintain your boundaries, you learn to tell people where to get off. Tell them no. That's what this essence is about. It's about saying no, but doing it in a nice way so that you don't come off as being aggressive. And it's also for giving when you feel kind of enclosed and trapped, and maybe even a bit claustrophobic. It helps you again to defend that personal space so that you feel like you can breathe, that people aren't really tight up on you and you can't get any air. So that's prickly pear. And moving on down from that, we move into the creative heart of ourselves, which is for women, it's literally the womb. It's our creative heart. But the sacral area, which is the groin area, basically, whether you're a man or a woman, it's about our individual power. And whether you're talking about maintaining your health, sexual health as a man or woman, the sacral area is quite important. And the essence that I have for that is red hibiscus. Now, red hibiscus is related to and enhances creativity. Not necessarily pro-creativity as in children, but creativity in the general sense, whether you're a dancer, a painter, a singer, artist, whatever the case may be. It helps to free up that creative energy and to enhance it and even to unblock it when necessary. I mean, this is an essence that I've used when I've been writing things and for some reason I'm stuck. And taking the essence actually kind of get things moving again. So if you are looking to create a new recipe or maybe create a baby, red hibiscus could be for you. I mean, just as an anecdotal thing, some years ago, one of my nephews and his wife were trying for children and just couldn't conceive. I said they live in Miami. I sent them along some essences to take of blends made just for them, of which red hibiscus formed a part. Now it is anecdotal. I can't prove it, but they did. They did have their daughter, and got pregnant not too long after that. So, maybe it at least helped them to relax enough to be able to conceive. Who knows? But I'd like to think I contributed in some small way. And last but not least of my 18 is baobab. Now, baobab is a very interesting tree. If you look it up on Google or what have you, it's often called the upside down tree. You can even look that up and find it. Because in the dry season in Africa or Asia or Australia, which is very dry, the bare branches look like it's the roots up in the air. So it looks like an upside down tree. And it's exactly that kind of upside downness that my baobab essence addresses. So when the world is turned upside down and you don't know which way to turn or what to do, baobab helps you to keep upright and to keep standing, to persevere, to be able to stay grounded and focused despite upheaval going on, which makes your world turn upside down. So that it helps you to keep on keeping on when you don't really feel like it. And it's because it's such a interesting, big, massive tree. I mean, trees big enough that people actually in East Africa give birth in them. We get cream of tartar from the fruit pods of it. It contains up to 40% water, so it can keep people alive in drought situations. It's a wonderful tree, but when it has to be dug up out of the ground, you actually need to practically dynamite it out the ground, literally blast it out of the ground because it's so solid and its roots so deep. And that's what it gives to a person who takes the essence, a sense of solidity and groundedness and being able to really face anything that's thrown at them. So there you have it. You have my 18 that helps me to keep on track and get rid of the mental malware when I start to go off into the ozone because of this, that, or the other situation. Essences, not just mine, but all essences, can help keep us on track. And as for the pictures of those essences, I wasn't able to share the screen like I wanted to, but I'll make sure that I add a little carousel of the photos so that you can see them and actually know what I'm talking about. Thanks so much for your use today. And if you'd like to find out about my 18 or any of the other essences that are in the Spirit of Makasutu range, just contact me and I will be happy to talk to you. No charge, no obligation. And if you'd like to just go online and find out more about my essences, you can go to www.sheilas, that's SHEILAS, and without the apostrophe, S, Healing Garden, all one word, .co.uk. And you can see all of the essences in the Spirit of Makasutu range. Thanks again for watching and listening. Have a brilliant evening and rest of the week, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.